It's Mercy here with Butch Owens. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, what would you like to know? A little bit about my history of music, my history in general, or what?
In general.
In general. I'm from Mississippi originally. My dad was a military man, so I was an Army brat. And we flew all over the country, never lived anywhere longer than 2 or 3 years at a time before we were transferred until my father retired in 69. And in 69 we were in Jackson, Mississippi, living and stayed there, and that's where I graduated high school and pretty much stayed until I moved to Nashville, Tennessee. I'm a retired police officer, and now I sing.
How did you get started singing gospel music?
My mother and father both loved gospel music, and my mother played the piano, and my dad actually sang lead for years until he started the quartet when we moved to Jackson. He started out as the lead singer, and the guy that started out as bass singer, they decided after 6 or so months of singing together that they would be better served to switch places. So my dad started singing bass, and the other gentleman started singing lead. I've been around it all my life. I think I saw my first gospel concert when I was 11 years old. We didn't miss many if they were close.
What is your favorite song to sing and why?
Right now, my favorite song to sing is probably Who Am I? Written by Rusty Goodman, and we recorded it on a Classics album several years ago. And probably the reason it's my favorite, I love the words, I love the message in the song, but the real reason that it's my favorite song is my father loved the song. And actually, I don't know, I'm sure y'all were here, but my father died in 2016, and he died the night we sang here. And I was singing the song when my father passed away. My brother called me just a few minutes before we were supposed to go on and told me that they had told him my father wasn't going to make it through the night. Of course, I didn't know that, or I would not have been here. I would have been there. But I had no way of leaving right away to go home. And my family, immediate and extended family, we all decided my dad would prefer that I stay here and sing. So the first time I sang it was in his honor the night he passed away. So it's special to me for that.
What is one of your favorite memories from being on the road?
Well, I don't know. That there's I've been on the road for a lot longer than I remember being on the road, and I have a lot of great memories. I have a cousin that I had not seen in years and years, and he was the road manager for the Stamps Quartet, and he was J.D. Sumner's right-hand man, and he and I are very close. And when I found out that the Stamps were auditioning for a bass, I contacted him, but we agreed not to tell anybody in the quartet that we were family, because we didn't want to I wanted them to hire me for me, not because we were family, and he didn't want to put pressure on them either. So that whole episode, singing with the Stamps and him being the road manager and us being on the road together and being as close as we are. And then of course I met Mike with the Stamps, and you know, Mike and I have a really close relationship and have had for years. So being with the Stamps is a fond memory of the whole experience, pretty much.
If your life was a movie, what would the title be?
Old. Rerun. Retread. If my life was a movie, I wouldn't sell many tickets. I don't know, that's a hard question. You did tell me you would ask me some surprise questions. Let me see. I truly don't know the answer to that. I don't know. Maybe I'll think of one after you ask me some other questions, but I don't know the answer to those either.
Okay. Is there a funny story you can share from your time in law enforcement?
On camera? Yeah, there were a lot of I worked in Jackson, Mississippi, which is a very busy, very dangerous city, and there are a lot of memories I have from the police department. A lot of funny things, but a lot of serious things too. A lot of really sad things that I saw over the years. But I think when I made sergeant, they put me out in the field at a precinct, and I was the watch commander. And I had a bunch of young guys working for me, and they were a lot of fun anyway because they were young, they were kids, and I was old at that time already. But I had one guy that worked for me. I won't call his name, but he was a little bitty short guy. Not what you would expect to see as a police officer. And back in the old days, they wouldn't have hired him because of his height. But anyway, he worked for me, and he was a very funny, very dry sense of humor kind of guy. But we had an individual that shot at one of my officers one night, and we were in a neighborhood trying to find him, and I got information that he was in an attic in a house. And we knocked on the door, and the lady who owned the home, I told her, you know, we had reason to believe he was in the house, and he had fired on police officers, and we were going to come in and search. And she allowed us to go in. He was in the attic, and threatened him with a dog to make him come out, you know. Well, when he came out, he was in the crawl hole. You know, there was no ladder or anything. And I went to grab his leg to pull him out of the attic. Well, when I pulled him, he was lighter than I thought he was. So when he came out, he came all the way out and over and into the bathtub face down. And I reached over to grab him by the shirt, you know, to pull him up and put handcuffs on him. And this little guy hit me with a flashlight on my hand. And I don't know, that doesn't sound funny, but at the time it was hilarious. And, you know, we're arresting this guy that we believe is armed. We know shot at the police officer, and I'm dying laughing while we're making this arrest, and he's laughing, and I'm threatening to put him in jail for assault on a police officer, and he was going to put me in jail for interfering with the duties of a police officer because I got my hand in his way. I don't know. That's the first thing that comes to mind. He was a very, very funny guy.
We've heard rumors, and we want to see if you could verify if it's true that Jonathan Mattingly is your favorite singer.
Yeah, that's definitely a rumor. That's definitely a rumor, John. I wonder who put you up to that. He is a great singer. I love John. I do. He's been you know, obviously I miss Mike. Mike is one of the most amazing people in general and singers I've ever been around. But Jonathan is I think he's one of the best in the business. He's up and coming, and he's somebody to watch, definitely.
What is one thing you'd like to be remembered for?
You know, truthfully, I'm not, I've never considered myself, I've been in shock and awe since the day I was hired the first time to sing with a full-time group. I've never considered myself to be a great singer. I don't consider myself that now, and I really don't. And you know, I wake up mornings, a lot of mornings, and I'm like a kid, because I remember the days when my mother and dad took me to sing-ins, and I remember walking around out in the parking lot looking at all the buses thinking, wow, that would be so much fun. You know, I'd love to do that. And you know, here I am a few years later, and God has allowed me to do that. What was the question?
What is one thing you'd like to be remembered for?
Oh, yeah. I think I would like to be remembered for my association with the people who come to hear us sing. I hate the word fans. I don't think that word should be used in gospel music. I like to call them friends because they are friends and they're brothers and sisters in Christ, and I appreciate them so much. And I would like to be remembered for being a people person.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me.